Okay, so this is a new game for the channel today, and it's a fairly new game to Roblox as well. This is Sword Factory. So this game is basically kind of like if a simulator and a tycoon game sort of mixed together, and this is kind of what was created, I guess. I'm not too sure whether that was the actual creative process or not, but that is kind of like how I'm seeing it right now. So basically what it is you have this little conveyor here, and basically you make swords, and further on you get, the more you upgrade it, the better they get basically. And then what you can do with those swords is you go ahead and you go to these little islands over here through the teleporter, and you can kill some things and maybe even get some better swords from that. So that is kind of the basic premise of the game, and it does actually go quite deep because there is actually quite a lot to it. As you can see, each one of these makes a little, like, a difference to the sword. So let's just kind of go over all of it. So this is the molder. Now this is basically what's kind of like the ingot it crafts out of basically. So you've got things like ruby, emerald. It can go all the way down to like amalite. I'm not even sure what that is. There's quartz there as well. And obviously the further down it gets, the more valuable it gets. There's also the polisher that is doing the quality. So again, that does the value and stuff. As you can see, the further down it gets, the better it gets, which is always a good thing. Then we have the classifier. Now this is the one that does most of the power, or what you say, the damage. And obviously again, the further down you go, the better it gets. The upgrader, I don't think that actually has one of these lists. I'm pretty sure that just kind of changes the price. So obviously once this thing comes through here, as you can see down here with the little value of it down here, that'll kind of increase a little bit. So it's got like 5 seconds, so we may as well watch it. As you can see, nothing on here actually changes, I don't think, apart from the value. And as you can see, it went up quite a bit actually there. As you can see, it went from 1,000 to 31,000, which is pretty good. And then there was also the Enchanter. So that basically, like, if you've played Minecraft before, you know what enchants are. It just kind of gives it more stuff, so it can go all the way up to, like, I think it's like, I'm not even too sure what that is, enchanting 36 maybe. And obviously that does damage and value, so that is very good. And then the last one is the Appraiser, which is probably the most important bit because that changes the rarity. And as you can see with the rarity list, there's actually quite a lot of rarities. I think this is the biggest list on here. So obviously there's all of these like basic, and as you can see, each one of these has a minus, a normal, a plus, and a plus plus. Obviously with a plus plus being the best one. There's common, there's epics, mythicals, supers, there's ultras, omegas and stuff, and so far and so forth. So really good. And in terms of actually kind of getting the best stuff, for where I'm at right now, the most recent swords that I've actually gotten, I've managed to get an insane sword, I've had a hyper sword, a godly sword, and the best sword that I have right now is a unique sword. So in terms of actual like damage and value and stuff, it's still not the best, but for what I am using right now, it's actually really good. So as you can see, I've gotten these two swords right here. I've gotten this godly one and have this unique one. Both of them are an ethereal class. So if we do come over here to the class list, as you can see, ethereal down here does 32.5 times power multiplier, which is very good. And in terms of actually getting it, it is 1 in 4 million. However, obviously with all like the different look and stuff, it's not actually that hard to actually get it in the end. Once you actually start upgrading stuff and that. Also, as you can see, unique is actually quite far down the list. And with it being just unique, nothing like the plus or the minus or anything like that, it gets 224.36 times power multiplier and 25.5 thousand value multiplier, which is very good indeed. I also have a godly one, so obviously that's not quite as good, 14,000 and 153 times multipliers. So obviously not quite as good, however, it still sells for like 8 billion, which is quite good for me. So really good so far. Also the enchants on my unique one, they're not actually as good as my godly one, but that is because I actually spent quite a lot of time upgrading my godly one, whereas my unique one, I've not actually spent that much time upgrading it yet. As you can see, this was ruby, it's got a lot more enchants and stuff, so I'll probably spend some time upgrading this, but let's just go ahead and kind of show off what these can do. So you can tell which sword it is when you're holding it by like the kind of glitter it comes off. So as you can see, this one's rainbow, which means that obviously this is the godly one. Or you can hover your mouse down here and it says down there, Uno Foggy's ruby sword, level 236, ethereal sword, rarity / quality, godly / incredible. So that is one way of knowing. And as you can see, sometimes it doesn't actually swing, which is kind of annoying. But as you can see, that does 228 million damage, which is actually pretty decent for what I've managed to get so far. And it also gives me an extra 17 billion health, which is quite crazy. Or we can go into my unique one, which gives me nearly 22 billion health. And I'm pretty sure this does over 300 million. As you can see there, 330 million. So in terms of actual overall damage, it's actually really good for me. In terms of my factory as well, I'm getting things like Divine Plus, excellent. They sell for about 10 million. Obviously, I can put them in the Ascender and stuff to get them a lot better. However, I don't really have the patience for that, and I just kind of sit here and let it go on its own anyway. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this unique sword in here and just kind of let it upgrade its enchants. As you can see there, it did actually just upgrade there. So that's probably doing a little bit more. I'm pretty sure it literally upgraded its power by like 3 different enchants. So if I quickly take it out, let's see how much damage it's doing now. Maybe 250 million? 271 million, wow, okay. That's quite a big jump. So yeah, as you can see, enchants are definitely really important. In terms of the actual damage though, I'd say probably the rarity and having it as like the best class it can be is definitely more important. But in terms of getting a lot of good stuff, as you can see there, it is slowly going up in the enchants, which is very good. So I think I was like, what, 21.93 billion before in terms of health. I'm now 24 billion. So yeah, the enchants do definitely give you quite a big boost. Obviously the enchants are definitely important for the health, but still, I'm still trying to get this above ethereal. I'm pretty sure the next one is like impossible or something like that, or unimaginable, as you can see there, which gives me 45 times multiplier for the power, which is definitely a big boost, and that'll probably bring me up to maybe like 500 million, something like that. So hopefully at some point I can get that up, but obviously it's going to take me quite a while. So what am I upgrading right now? I am upgrading still the enchantments. So I'm going to leave that like that. I might try and get it up to Ruby. Ruby doesn't do anything for the power. It obviously only does it for the value, but it's still quite good to have a nice value. And obviously I can sell my Godly Sword and upgrade all of my stuff. However, I kind of don't want to, because it's just kind of like a nice sword to have. And obviously it was kind of my first special sort of sword, I guess. And as you can see up here as well, as you can see, someone just got a unique sword, a unique plus sword. So as you can see, unique swords are definitely something worth bragging about, I guess, because it does actually come up in the chat in here. And also if you are in a Discord server, I think sometimes it will also show in the chat as well. Say like a unique boss spawns or someone gets a unique sword, it does actually show in there as well. And in terms of getting actual really good boss spawns, basically what you want to do is all of these different looks here, as you can see, 10 times, 40 times, 160 times, and 640 times. You want all of these to align and them to all basically count down to 0 together. And once they all hit 0 and a boss spawns, you've basically gotten like what? I don't even know, like a massive amount of luck. I'm pretty sure they call it like a quad spawn or something like that. I don't think I'm correct. Maybe I'm not though. But I'm pretty sure they call it a quad spawn. So basically what that means is you get the best possible boss. And usually when that happens, that is when you start getting things like unique or better bosses. I'm pretty sure if you scroll down, you can get things like exotic bosses. I think the best one I've seen is exotic. But obviously that was way before I had any of the good stuff, so I had absolutely no chance of killing it. So yeah, right now where I'm stood, I'm pretty happy with the unique sword. It has actually just gone up to Ruby, which is very nice. I don't think I can really get past Ruby. If I'm patient enough, I probably can. I'm not even sure it's past Amethyst. Maybe I can get up to that, but there's not really much of a point. I'm just really trying to get it past the Ethereal Sword to get it onto Unimaginable, just because it's going to give me a hell of a lot more power. And then when things like Unique Plus Plus or something like an exotic boss spawns, it'll be a lot easier to kill then. So hopefully we can get that up there soon enough. But yeah, this is obviously my first unique sword, so obviously I'm not very experienced with having it. So if any of you guys have tips on how to basically get this even better, let me know in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.